Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. And Chris Eccleston, bless him, bless him. A very earnest gentleman, returning to the role of Doctor Who in 10 days. I think it's coming out May 13th is when it's scheduled. I think they put that in SFX magazine, but they don't normally like telling the date things are going to drop. Anyway, 10 days. He's been doing a lot of publicity. Really, I think. Well, I'm surprised because he's not really up for that normally. Doing a lot, a lot of publicity for these upcoming sets. And Chris, I just want to say, I want to say 2 words. Just 2 words for you. Please don't. Please don't. The more you talk, the more you make me not want to buy this, okay? You are pushing me away as fast as you possibly can. I keep saying, listen, he's a normie, doesn't know anything about Doctor Who. He's an acting job, doing a jobbing actor. He's a jobbing actor who needed work, right? That's to say, like, it doesn't really matter what he thinks. It really, genuinely doesn't matter. Nice enough chap. I mean, Jesus. Could lighten up a bit there, Chris. You know, he could look at the fun side of life. Occasionally, I don't know. Anyway, so he keeps interviewing and keeps saying really dumb things. So, I think we should look at this together, right? We're going to look at his second part of interview from Doctor Who magazine. Many people get in contact with me after I drop my reviews from Doctor Who magazine, and they go, yeah, I'm definitely not buying it, but let us know anything interesting is happening there. This is it. This is the only 3 pages of any interest whatsoever in this month's Doctor Who magazine. Out of 77 pages, out of a meager 77 pages, they got 3 pages of actual content. So we're going to look at that. I think on my live stream tomorrow we'll read their shill reviews because it's fun to take the piss out of, and it does justify me buying the bloody magazine. Fine, before we get into that, can you hit the like button? Freaking awesome! Thank you very much. I like to be liked. Yeah, I do actually like to be liked. Can you hit the share button? Share me around and hit that subscribe button. We are plowing our way up to 3,000 subscribers. Don't tell YouTube because they will not be happy. They will not be happy. Although I lost a couple of subscribers yesterday. Legitimately, people were really pissed off with me because of the whole like Noel Clarke thing. He's been accused of, over 20 people, I think, have accused him of sexual impropriety. I went over the accusations, and it just didn't seem to be much. There was one real accusation, but it seemed to be there's evidence against it. I don't know. My point is this. Trial by mob is always a bad idea. I just really, even if he's guilty of sin, trial by mob, I think, is generally speaking a very bad idea, very bad for society. So yeah, like I said, subscribe. If you're upset that I said that, I'm sorry. I don't know. It's just what I think, and I think that's reasonable. So you work it out for yourself, mate. Fine. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Comment is great. And also go check out my Indiegogo. Somebody mentioned to me yesterday that I should really talk about the actual comics rather than the extras, and they are absolutely right. So my Indiegogo, you have 2 freaking awesome comics. We have biblical Bible stories. The Atheist, Creatures, Rationalist, Rogues has got that feeling of a early Vertigo book. That's really what I wanted to go for with it. It's 220 pages long, 180 pages of story. It's a real meaty tome. It's very, very biblically accurate, but I hope it's not preachy, okay? I honestly, if I was going to preach to you, I'll just say be nice to each other. That's me preaching, right? This is actually I take a narrative, and I think it's a compelling narrative. I hope you enjoy it, right? I hope you guys enjoy it. Also, there is the Imperium, a love letter to Telefancy of the 1960s, which I do just adore. I just adore Telefancy 1960s. So essentially, Patrick Townsend, Doctor Who, Emma Peel, James Bond, a monkey in a spacesuit, and a black slab from 2001, all in one mind-bending, reality-bending narrative. It's tons of fun. It really is. This one's tons of fun. And I think I might there's other volumes that I would like to. I wouldn't mind doing stuff with Thunderbirds. I mean, listen, all this stuff is like I generically change it so I don't get sued, because I'm not big into being sued. So I'll call it like Firebrands or something. So anyway, you get these 2 comics, and then with the comics you get a bunch of extras for the male gaze cards, a bunch of 6 cards, soon to be 7. Tomorrow it'll be 7. Based on my 12-year-old titillations, we have what is it? No hanky panky and TARDIS. One of my favourites. I'm sensing strong emotions, Captain. And also we have, what's the last one? Yes, the Forces theme. It's literally on the screen next to me, and I forgot it. Okay, the Forces theme. So go check it out. You can buy the extras, on their own if you would prefer. I would prefer you buy the comics, quite frankly. Let's see what Christopher Eccleston would prefer. Okay, let's go back to this interview. There you go. That. Hopefully that'll be better. Now let's zoom in, see if we can get the a little bit easier to read. Oh, that is much better. Well done, Tzvi. Okay, so blah blah blah. I'm skipping a lot of it. The first question is pretty interesting. It doesn't lead to disaster. The disaster comes at the end. Okay, the disasters come pretty much at the end. Although Christopher seems hesitant to take a general view of his time on the TV series, he does acknowledge his interpretation broke down a perception that the character was somehow upper class. And I think that's probably hurt the show more than anything else, because I think it just naturally snapped back to that with David Tennant, where it's like it was like you get the impression it were upper class people who have eschewed their privilege to go and search the universe for adventure, right? But yeah, it did kind of like snap back to that, and I think it's probably better for that. So he says, you can trace that in all my work. He says, it was more important to me. It was very important to me. One of the reasons I didn't like the show when I was a kid was that I couldn't put myself in the role. I don't say like I couldn't put myself in the role. Well, I sort of could. Because I think Doctor Who could be anybody, really. I mean, if you follow the through line of the character. But I don't really believe you. Okay, honestly, Chris, I think that's bullcrap that you're saying. Because it's 2021. I listen. I think you're an honest guy. I think you believe you. I just don't think I believe you, right? When I was a kid, I couldn't put myself in a role. I know Tom Baker, who we refer to as a master when it comes to Doctor Who. Yeah, dude, I wish you knew more about Doctor Who. Is a Scouser, but he certainly didn't sound like one to me. The series seemed to be saying that if you're white and middle class, you have ownership of our intellect and science, humanity. Christopher, I really don't think you thought that. Nobody was thinking that in the 70s, right? Nobody. I just don't think it's real. I think when you look back now at the sensibilities of 2021 on the 70s, you go, well, I must have thought that, because otherwise I'm a terrible person. But I don't think you thought that. I really don't. So it's important to me, particularly as I come from Manchester, so without Alan Tudyk goes through a bunch of great Mancunians. I agree with you. Yeah, with the both Northerners, working class background. Listen, it was just the way of television from its inception up until, I would say, the 80s. It was a good 50 years, right? A good 50 years was to be very posh. that was the, that was the language of the medium, to be very posh. Maureen Lipman's Wire character, I think, really, really nailed that. I know people hated her. Hated that character, but I thought it was that was the BBC, and I don't think it was racist. I just think it was, honestly, what it was, the ideals of the era were based on looking up to royalty, right? And royalty were posh. So that's really the etymology, I think, where it comes from. I don't think it's saying working class people are bad, 'cause I don't know anybody in their right mind who thinks that, right? Other than, crazy white middle class liberals like Christopher Eccleston. I can understand it's important for him. He's very, very locally aware, right? I think it's important for him to show there's more to London, more to England than London. That 100%. I think it's great. Honestly, one of the things I liked about the 13th Doctor era, which I hate in every vile way possible, right? I can't stand it, is the whole Sheffield Still thing. I thought that's get out. That's before I saw it, but get out of get out of London and see more. I really think that's a good idea. But yeah, they did that in the classic era. I mean, what's it? Time and well, not time. Mark of the Rani. I did a bunch of loose. There's a. I don't think it was so anti North, but I do see why the North is important to you, and working that like working class background into it is also yes, that's fine. Okay, I see that, but the idea that saying that you got to be white middle, no, nonsense, utter nonsense. That is destroying society, absolutely destroying society. And I do think in doing that, it created a shift away. It was what my mum and dad told me. Be proud of where you're from. Yeah, okay. That's not saying where you're not from is bad, right? You can be proud of where you're from without hating where you're not from. Okay. This is a bit. This is where he resisted the Byronic wardrobe predecessors. I guess, but I thought that was much more Russell T Davies. Really, I really thought that was much more Russell T Davies. Yeah, I just want to get on with the job. Really, yeah, we got that, Chris. I don't want people whistling out my costume on the series. It was just about going on with his two hearts and his head. Yeah, listen, I think probably Russell had a lot more to do with that. Talks about using his tagline, fantastic. Who cares? Really, who cares? I tell you, this expression is how I think of Chris Eccleston. Not both of these. This is like, I'm not happy. I'm super not happy. Okay, fine. So he talks about when he went to America, they tried to make him wear a scarf when he was in Heroes. And he was like, no. That must have been like the penultimate episode of his his only season, where the Daleks said, "You will surrender." He's like, no. I bet that was exactly like that exchange. And then they talk about having assistants. A little bit. Temporary assistants and why, and the Brigadier asks him why he doesn't have one. So there's no Daleks they're talking about, but there are some. But the reason I am skipping quite a lot is because if you want to read it, you should really just go buy the magazine. Okay, that's my recommendation to you. It does include this Daleks, but it has to have a Sideman. This kind of thing is manna for us fans. Yep, he says. But does it have a deeper meaning for Chris himself that he's interested intersecting with parts of Doctor Who history? It has no interest to him. They gave him a script and he read it. You know, he doesn't care. I mean, he cares about his performance. He cares about doing a good job. I think he has a work ethic. He doesn't care about who made the Daros. Was it Terry Nathan? Was it Davros? Was it Raymond Cusack? He doesn't care. What's he care about? What he's told to care. What every white middle class progressive in 2021 cares about: the color of your skin. That's what he cares about. It means something to me because of the writing, really. But I'm not somebody who wades through canon in that sense. It would really, I couldn't have picked up on that. I'm glad if it pleases fans. Yeah, he's not like it. Oh no, fans are happy, which is a lot of creators feel that way. They're like, oh, I can't make those evil incels happy. I'm always keen for a new alien to engage, for a writer to give an opportunity to create. Blah 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 blah. There's danger to so become self-referential. Yeah, listen, Russell T Davies really found that balance. It was a little bit. Ignoring of its background in Eccleston's season, and I think it got more comfortable with it. Yeah, look, Russell T Davies' balance of, I would say, 30% old, 70% new, pretty much perfect. So they say, let's create an entirely new iconic enemy for the Doctor. There's a real power in it. Writers saying that that's what I'm looking to see. I've always been about moving forward. It's always been moving forward, isn't it? Yeah, but now he's going to want to move backwards in quite a massive way. I mean, look, Chris, mate, Chris, crack a smile, mate. Your face won't break. Crack a smile. I mean, really? Whew. Fine. So now we get into the dower. Okay, let's get into the dower. Chris nonetheless has strong feelings about how the Cybermen should play out. I think it's high time we had a Cyberwoman. Okay. Well, firstly, there's this crap episode of Torchwood, right? But if you're talking about Cyberwomen, we have had Cyberwomen before. Bill Potts, do you remember Bill Potts? And that was done incredibly well. And it was like, it was one of the more horrific aspects of the Cybermen, which is probably why we can't talk about it today, because they didn't just rip your humanity away from you. Part of your humanity is your gender, is your the way we identify ourselves, and that how much our self-identification is connected to our biology of being masculine or feminine, and that was torn away from Bill Potts when she was turned into a Cyberman, which was saying truly horrific, right? We did touch on that as well in the David Tennant Cyberman one, when they first brought Cybermen in. He was in like the tunnels, and they found a cyber person, and he was like, it was a woman talking, and she it had her gender removed from her. So yes, we have had cyber women, right? But Chris doesn't know that because he's a normie, and he's in 2021, and he's a lovey, and so he's got a virtue signal. I think it's high time we had a cyber woman. I must say that. Well, okay. Well, we're about 30 years ahead of you, mate. It's like it's not like this is the first time anybody's thought of this. I think we really need to address that. We've done. Okay, that's the thing. We have addressed this decades ago. The Doctor with a Cyberwoman, that's dramatic feminine element of itself. So again, why are the Cybermen redesigning themselves to look feminine? Like, what's the story drive behind that? Like, again, they did it over here, and it was stupid. Remember? Stupid? Yeah, exactly. It was just dumb. Whenever you think, we got to be new and dangerous, you're being old. You're being old and stupid. The Doctor with the Cyberman, that dynamic feminine element of himself, which he uses so well, his flirtatious nature, his admiration for Gia and the female will be great with a Cyberman, a malign Cyberman. Oh, are you talking about the next Doctor, right? Again, this is decades ago, literally decades ago. We did exactly this, right? This idea that that somebody is disadvantaged because of their gender in 2021 is nonsense. I mean, other than white males, utter nonsense. Please show me the barrier to entry for writing if you're a woman. I think you're gonna have trouble demonstrating that. Fine, so he goes on to say, I would very much like Dr. meet Emily Dickinson. Okay, look, again, Chris, try being a bit fun. I would very much like Dr. meet Emily Davison, not Emily. Emily Dickinson would be fun. Emily Davison, who threw herself in front of the Epsom Derby winner fatally in 1913. Well, that'll be a barrel of laughs, won't it? Yeah. And was one of the forerunners of the feminist movement and a martyr for it. God, could you imagine if she came and saw this and went and she saw the world today and how women are like, how women's sports are being destroyed. How this erosion of gender is destroying female space. She would not be a fan. I don't think Chris would be so up for that, would he? I don't think he'd be so up for a finger wagging at today's world from the past world. Right? Could you imagine a feminist, a suffragette from the 1913 showing up and going, "Wait, you don't have any respect for women? What's wrong with you? Why women are being forced into doing dangerous labor? What's wrong?" Could you imagine the two mindsets of a 1930s world and a 2021 world meeting, and the finger wagging will be from them to us rather than us to them? Yeah, I don't see Chris being so into that. Myself. So we have. Yeah, so she's been run over by a horse. That does not sound fun. Over to mix with Emmeline Pankhurst and explore that. It's he's very drawn to the feminine. Yeah, again, but he's also drawn to engaging adventures. He's not the dour woke scolds that you really like. Yeah, again, look at this picture. Oh my God! That again, nothing says Christopher Eccleston. What is it? Nothing says Christopher Eccleston more than this picture of him. Right? Oh my gosh, you could chill, poor mate. The world isn't so bad. The world isn't so bad. I mean, it actually is, but it's not bad the way you're saying. It's great that we have a female doctor. Why? Why? I mean, yeah, it would be great if we had a female doctor that was good. That was like, and it was actually an exciting, engaging adventure that worked. That would be great. Wouldn't that be great if it was, they actually pulled it together and they didn't fill it with the platforming agenda? Wouldn't that be fantastic? But no. It's great we have a female doctor. I think we should take that further and in the way that we look at history. Look at it through a female lens, or maybe look at it accurately as well. Again, Big Finish have been doing this a lot. Big Finish have been looking at history through a female lens, making absolute garbage. And it's not looking at it through a female lens, it's looking through an entitled female from 2021's lens, which is utter nonsense. This week I listened to another Big Finish story set several hundred years ago, where a character who was clearly a woman was pretending to be a boy dressed as pretending to be a boy, and it was a girl dressed as a boy, right? And it just worked out fine. Like the first one they did was called what was the name of that thing? I can't remember the name. It was the Sylvester McCoy one. But she was left as first mate on a sailing ship. She would have been raped and murdered the minute the TARDIS vanishes, right? That's the reality. So maybe looking at it through a lens, but a lens that's not detached from reality. That might be good. And if you're looking at it from the lens of a woman in 2021, it's detached from reality. And there's one other person I thought about it, and this would have been who unfortunately is male. What's wrong with you, you moron? Like, read that. Okay, read this. It's great that we have a blah blah blah. And there is one other person I thought about this who unfortunately is male. That is everything that's wrong with 2021, right? There's a program called Fridtjof Nansen, who was a Norwegian version of Doctor, a great humanist, human rights activist and such. But unfortunately, he's a male, right? Was he white? Oi Lano. Oh, was he a white male? How terrible. That'll be a very interesting adventure there. He would decide to travel the North Pole in 1893 in the exact opposite way everybody else had. He had a very counterintuitive way, which I think is very doctorate and appeals to me personally. It's the way I'd like to work, but it sounds not that interesting. Okay? It sounds like it won't be entertaining. Already lined up for further adventure is a meeting with Macbeth, a role that Chris made his own, or the role Shakespeare Company in 20. I was hardly a definitive Macbeth, he says last night. I was Macbeth who fell off stage. See, okay, that's fine. At last, a bit of humour on the third night preview. That actually that's quite funny. Okay, and listen, I'm not saying, oh, good, he fell off stage, but I like a little bit of self-abrasive humour. It's not a bad thing. So the Doctor's going to meet Macbeth in one of his? Interesting. Oh, man. Okay, zoom out again. Macbeth and fell off stage, third night preview, which I'm not sure has been done before. It's been done before, okay, but not on purpose. I mean, not accidentally. Probably accidentally as well. But yeah, Macbeth is key to my life and career. Really, has become an actor. I became an actor because of Macbeth, and to have the Doctor dealing with it. There's a great adventure that meeting Lady Macbeth. One of the most beautiful qualities of my dad is he was an unapologetic enthusiast. When somebody when somebody else could do something well, he was so generous and admiring, and he would, and that marked me as a child. You know why that marked you as a child? It's because it showed his his personal strength, right? He wasn't threatened by somebody else being successful at something, which is basically where you know where that all comes from, in my opinion. My dad was quite a tough guy. He was okay, blah 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 blah. Well, who cares? Okay. And the Doctor's like that. Okay, fine. So now we're going into the Doctor has an element with that, and he has that with Shakespeare and with Lady Macbeth. So again, is he doing a Macbeth with Big Finish, or is the Doctor meeting Macbeth? And I love the unapologetic openness and admiration. Other people's success is not your failure. I think it's a wonderful part of the message. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you completely. But like, unfortunately, he's a male. God. Jesus, you just completely contradicted yourself right there. You know, I didn't even, if I known that was in there, I probably would have lived with that. Fine. Is there anything else in this? The notion that should the Doctor ever meet you, he'll be minded to like you, be interested in what you're about. Yes, he's got two hearts and blah blah blah. Not really much more about this. Thanks, it's been fantastic. You loves. You're welcome. Lots of love. Yeah, like, leave me alone. That's essentially what he's saying. So there you go. Christopher Eccleston, don't stop. Just stop. Don't, you know what? I like your portrayal of Doctor Who, right? I thought it interesting. I actually fell in love with it over there. There was a real sweetness at the core of it, right? There's a real sweet vulnerability at the core of your take on the character, and it made me fall in love with you. But you don't know anything about Doctor Who, mate, and it's okay. Just read. I like your attitude. I got the script. I'm going to read it. Fine. Perfect. In general, we should stop interviewing him, okay? Because he basically, I said this in my last take on the first part of his interview. He approaches a job like a bricklayer approaches building wall. Got my job, got my bricks, got to go ahead and do it and go home. That's essentially it. Yeah, he doesn't really have much to say other than let's make Doctor Who boring, preachy, and unsuccessful. Right? That's his great ideas. Maybe not. Maybe not. Just, as a fan of both Doctor Who and his, maybe not. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.